how you doing? This is the Budget King. I want to tell you about Anchor. First off, it's where I make my podcast. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more, like Stitcher, you name it. They pretty much let them go anywhere, which you can help out too. You can make money from your podcast with no listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. All right, let me tell you what you do. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Peace. On to the next part of the show. It's time for you to listen to the non-politically biased blue-collar tip specialist, James Davis. He is an expert on cord cutting, bill negotiations. He is an interweb specialist. When it comes to all-around entertainment and budgeting, no one beats the Budget King.
You know what that is? That's the sound of a slightly underage rooster in the morning. Yes, I'm going to talk about chickens. Do I raise chickens? Why, yes, we do. Is it a lot cheaper than buying them in the store? Not necessarily. Sometimes you can go buy eggs at the store for about 49 cents a dozen. That's pretty cheap. Me personally, I prefer country eggs because they're pretty darn good. They taste better. They have a more rich, I don't know how to explain it. They have a oranger look, but one nice thing about having chicken, especially if you let them run around your yard, is that they will eat bugs. They'll eat lots of bugs and ticks and all kinds of creepy crawly things. They'll fluff up your leaves so the wind will blow them out of your yard. Yeah, chickens are pretty cool. I like watching them walk around. How many chickens we got? We got about 30. In the summertime, they lay a lot of eggs. We end up giving away some. But we don't necessarily have chickens because it's cheaper. Yeah, it's nice because I guess cheaper is true because we're not buying them, but we do buy them laying mash and cracked corn and all kinds of fancy stuff to make sure they lay good eggs. And so in a way, they can be expensive, but I like to think we treat our chickens better than most people. So, yeah, we let them live hardy on, the property. We got 5 acres they could roam around on in the daytime, and, about an acre and a half of that is farmed. But yeah, we let a farmer rent that out, little bit of there. But so yeah, the chickens can roam around, and we got some woodsy areas, and they could fluff stuff up. And we've had a little problems with raccoons here and there, but not too much. But we still make sure they get the water and food and all that. But in the summertime or in the wintertime, yeah, you got to let them get a little bit cold, so and slow down their laying and stuff like that, and they don't lay the eggs in the winter. I mean, some people like to keep a nice hot heat lamp on them and a light and make them all lay eggs all year long, but we like to give our chickens a break. And there's different kinds. I preferably like Isa Browns myself. We do got some different kinds, but to me they're like a hybrid because they don't eat a lot for how much they eat. What did I say? Oh, yeah, they don't lay a lot. They will lay a decent egg, and they don't eat a lot. That's what I meant to say. Remember, on the Budget King podcast, I do drive down the road while I'm making a podcast. So sometimes I get a little scatterbrained, but that's all right. If you're listening to me, you might be a little scatterbrained. Woo-hoo-hoo. All right, so these chickens, all right, watching them run around the yard is worth having them for themselves. They run around. The poor things don't have arms, right? So they have that waddle, and they're running, and when they see you coming out there, they're all excited to see you. It's almost like dogs. It's like having a bunch of little dogs. They're all, they're shaking their tails, but in this case, they're all running up to see you, and and then they run up to you, and then they kind of step back. Then they act like they're scared. They run up to you because you're going to give them some food. But then if you try to go up to them and pet them, some of them will let you, but some of them, they still stay kind of far back. They're like, hey, we'll let you get close, but not too close. They're like, just give me the good stuff and go about your business, sir. So you give them their fresh water every day, and especially in the winter time, obviously, but and then they usually have a certain spot where they go and put their eggs at. So once you find their spot, and it's not always where you want them to. Some people buy them little cheap little cage things that you could put them in, and the problem is that's not giving them no room. And then you're gonna have a whole bunch of like their feces, poop, whatever, their shit in one area, and you don't want that. You want them to like kind of spread that stuff out all over the place. That way you're not like walking on it. You don't want to walk on it. It's pretty nasty. But you let them run it. I mean, of course you put straw and stuff like that, and you got to clean that out. But in the wintertime, you got to give them what they call a bedding. Make sure they have a real nice bedding, and they all cuddle up together and stay warm and all that good stuff. And but you don't want to get a meat bird to lay eggs. So you got to know what kind of chickens you want. There's all kinds of different laying hens. I'm not going to tell you what kind to get. I say just get one you think's pretty. So we got a mix of them, and I actually don't know as much about this stuff as my wife. I was pretty new to it till I guess we've had chickens for 4 years, maybe 4 years. And I tell you what, I'm a lucky man because we get a bounty of eggs, and they're awesome and they're nutritious, and like I said, there's nothing better than a country egg, like a real country egg. Ours are usually brown. We do got some hens that do lay white eggs, like a whitish egg, and it's all good. But there's something about when they're getting their proteins and stuff like that from eating bugs and from pecking and all that stuff, when they're rounding up their own food, maybe they eat crickets and whatever. I mean, it isn't like it's going straight through their system and you're eating that in their egg. And you're not eating a baby chicken. Now, we do have some roosters, and you got to have a rooster to fertilize the eggs. Some people don't know this. You don't have to have chickens. I mean, you don't have to have roosters to have eggs. Roosters or chickens will lay eggs without a rooster, all right? And you're thinking, okay, well, why then have a rooster? Why would you want a rooster then? Well, the roosters sort of like chickens. When you hear the pecking order, there literally is a pecking order. And when you don't have a rooster, one of the chickens will actually take charge of the other hens. And when you bring a new chicken in, oh boy, they go on attack. They will, like, if you introduce one little chicken, come on, brother, let your brights off. If you introduce one little chicken, and it ain't a big brute chicken, if you introduce it to, like, say 20 hens, they will all go and attack this thing. Sometimes even the rooster will go, and they'll attack it. So when you're introducing, like, say, one chicken into a group, you have to let them eat it slowly. Let me put it in a cage. You get used to it. Or else what you have to do is you have to introduce, say you got a group of 10 chickens over here, you got a group of 10 chickens over there. You can't just let one at a time. You can introduce 10 with them 10 or 5 with 5, But you definitely don't want to go with one. Like, you don't want to go buy, well, you know what, I only got 9 chickens. I think I need to go buy another one. No, as soon as you introduce that one chicken, they know each other. They're like buds. You know, they'll pick on one, and you'll see where they'll pick on one once in a while, and you know, we gotta let each other know who the boss is. But you throw in that one little chicken with that group, and they are getting their ass whooped. I'm telling you, maybe even killed. They'll kill it too. So you don't ever introduce one into a group. And even if they knew each other a few weeks back, you know, their friends are easily forgotten when it comes to chickens. So you don't want to introduce one into another group, even if, like, say, a few weeks ago they were best of friends high-fiving each other. No, you don't do that. So so don't have a favorite chicken that you want to bring into your house, then want to think you could bring it back out there and hang out with them. All right. So, but the rooster, what it does, what it tries to do, it'll actually try to defend its ladies. We refer to it as its ladies because, you know, if something does come along, that rooster will actually try to fight a raccoon, or it'll try to fight whatever. It'll fight to its death to try to defend its ladies. So, and, you know, it'll help just warn the others. They're a little more alert, it seems like. They kind of stay on alert, and they pay attention to, you know, its ladies. And, yeah, once in a while it does have its favorites, and it'll tear it up. Sometimes you got to, like, you know, you got to get different medicines for them and different things like that. But you got to take care of your chickens. I'm not going to tell you how to take care of your chickens. I'm just telling you, man. You know, it's not a bad idea to, if you want to get yourself, you know, 3 or 4 laying hens, give you a few eggs here and there every day, pretty much, if you get eyes brown. But, you know, you can, I got to put my blinkers on here in a second. I got a car behind me, because I got to check my mail. And I got something in here. Well, anyway, sorry about that little blank space there. But yeah, country fresh eggs. You know, they're the best thing for omelets, just for scrambled eggs, everything. And at first it might be like an acquired taste, because I've had some people, I call them like more like city people, whatever, like non-country fried, country-fied. Yeah, they might be a little weirded out the first time they try a country egg, because it does have a unique taste. But you know what it tastes like? What chickens are supposed to when they're not crammed into a little space and just fed the cheapest food just to keep them alive, so they're kicking out. Like, eggs should have a taste, like, not by salt and pepper. I'm talking about the eggs alone should have a unique flavor. And I'll tell you what, when I go get store-bought eggs, it really is, it's tough to eat. They're flavorless. They really are flavorless. And so, you know, if you don't know, if you never had a country egg, like a real egg, I would suggest you try to find somebody that a real country egg. It should have like a orangey, more of an orangey yolk than what you're used to seeing. Not bloody. Which, if there's a little blood in it, that ain't a big deal neither, though. But a real country egg should have a little more of a orangey tint. But yeah, that's my podcast. You want to save on some money a little bit, not necessarily, but if you want a better egg, how about a better egg for your buck? A better egg for your buck. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Maybe I'll title it something cool. But yeah, subscribe, listen to my other podcasts, leave a voicemail message at thebudgetking.com, and all that good stuff. All right. Have a good day. If you get a chicken, send me a voice message. Let me know. All right. Bye.